insecurity killing your relationship? Have you ever thought about you might be insecure? The truth is, we all have insecurity. It's when that insecurity makes the relationship toxic. And we're going to talk about the 5 signs that your insecurity is killing your relationship. Welcome back. I'm Coach Ken. I help people navigate the complexities of modern day relationships so that they can live a life of abundance. Let's talk about insecurity. Now, the truth is, we all have insecurities, y'all, in some area of our life or something about each one of us. Don't ever let anybody tell you you don't have insecurities. Now, what I will say is this, is that insecurity is neither bad or good, okay? Or right or wrong. 4 words you will never hear me say: good, bad, right, or wrong. You will only hear me say, is it working or it's not working? And sometimes, and many times, the insecurity that you have in your relationship is not working. Now, where does insecurity come from? What is it? Insecurity is a state of being, emotions, when you are anxious or uncertain about yourself or an area in your life. The truth is, it's about you not having confidence. You lack confidence in an area and it permeates into your emotions. Now, a lot of it comes from, childhood trauma, abandonment, abuse, neglect, and some other things. However, but I'm going to tell you the 5 ways to know if insecurity is hurting your relationship. All right. Number 1, you have a hard time accepting criticism, even if it's the smallest criticism. Now, I want you to think about that for a minute. Now, sometimes people are just joking with you, or maybe they just want to give you some constructive feedback. However, this constructive feedback leads to you either getting angry, leads to you getting upset. It becomes a situation, you make it more than it is, all right? The second thing is you need constant validation. You need constant validation. You need to know, all right, do you love me? Do you love me? 15 minutes goes by. Where are you at? I text you. Where are you? Okay. And you ask questions like, what are we doing? What is the relationship? Where are we going? And all of those things are, you think, reassurance about the relationship. You need validation as it pertains to the relationship. But the truth of the matter is, it's actually hurting your relationship because, here's why. Because if you have an insecurity issue that has become somewhat toxic, that has become overwhelming to you, no matter what validation the person gives you, the person can call you every 15 minutes. Then it'll be, you didn't call me every 10 minutes. The person can let you know, can turn their phone off, or their phone will go dead, and you will assume that the person is cheating on you. And see, what I tell people is, you must be willing to get help with the insecurity, because the insecurity is a gateway to other emotions. And that, my friend, could be killing your relationship. Number 3, your anxious attachment style leads to clinginess, leads to neediness. And a lot of people have never heard the term attachment style. There are 3 prominent attachment styles. There is the anxious attachment style. Okay? That is when you need assurance, you need to be around the person, you need to know where they are. You're anxious when they're not around you. Then there's the avoidant attachment style. The avoidant attachment style is the person who avoids getting close to you, who doesn't want to get too up close, so they kind of stay their distance. They kind of back away when they're getting tight, when the relationship is going to a place they're not comfortable with. And then there's the secure attachment style. The secure attachment style is the person who is okay within themselves, who has done the work on themselves, who is neither anxious nor avoidant, and they're okay if you talk to somebody in the relationship, meaning you have a conversation. They don't worry if they text you and they haven't heard from you in 30 minutes. They simply believe that the relationship is going to be okay. And listen, whether you have an avoidant attachment style or an anxious attachment style, and a lot of times this anxious attachment style comes from when you were young and you had your parents. Because in psychology, they talk about you had your parents, then all of a sudden your parents disappeared. And you are wanting and longing for that. And that leads to this anxious attachment style. However, I say this, if that is the issue, if you get, and how do you know you have it? Because whenever a person leaves you, or whenever a person leaves you, you feel antsy. Whenever a person doesn't call you back, you feel antsy. Whenever you go out with somebody and you're liking them and they don't call you in a couple of days, and then you get anxiety, and anxiety leads to headaches, physical problems, or it leads to just emotional instability. And if that's the cause of your insecurity, you need to seek therapy so that they can help you manage and work through that. Number 4, another way your insecurity is killing the relationship is because you are excessively jealous. Now, y'all, a little jealousy is good. A little jealousy helps the relationship. Everybody wants to believe that, listen, that, you care about me, or that I care about you enough and I don't want anybody else to have the same rights, privileges, or access to you that I do. However, when the jealousy is unprovoked, when the jealousy is just overwhelming in the relationship, that jealousy leads to insecurity. Because I always say they're siblings to the same parents, insecurity and jealousy. But that jealousy is what leads to serious things in the relationship. And listen, unchecked jealousy can be a dangerous and deadly thing. But if you're overly jealous, if somebody looks at your guy, who are you looking at? Who is that on your phone? Let me see your messages. When you are excessively jealous, it leads to insecurity. That in and of itself is a recipe for killing the relationships. And the last, but definitely not least, the 5th sign is you have trouble taking compliments. No matter if you do a good job, he compliments you. You shun the compliment, or you believe that the person is giving you a compliment and it's not sincere. Whenever you have problems accepting these compliments in the relationship, I imagine it's based in insecurity. These are 5 signs to know your insecurity is killing your relationship. I'm Coach Ken, and I'm out.